So I just want to talk really briefly about my thoughts on Zayn's new album. I have a lot to say. It's going to be difficult to condense it all down into like a decent video, but I'm going to try my best. First of all, I think this is Zayn's best album, lyrically speaking. He's had some great success with songs in different departments, you know, like sonically and conceptually and vocally and things like that. But I think this particular album highlights his ability as a lyricist. He is improving drastically. I think he has proven himself as a well-versed lyricist at this point, and I was really proud to hear how much he has evolved from his last album. A running theme for this album, as far as being a Zarry is concerned, is that Zayn seems to be more open in this album. I don't believe he's being particularly direct in regards to Harry, but I do think he's being very open, which is a pathway to him being direct about who he's singing about. Obviously, on the surface level, we're supposed to believe the album is about Gigi. Okay, sure. But we know to look past that. And especially in this album in particular, it seems Zayn challenges us to look past the surface level narrative of him being a happy hetero man in a relationship with a girl, with a baby, yada yada. He's challenging the media narrative that we know of him. He says no one is listening. But more importantly, as someone pointed out in the comment section of my Vibes video, he decided to depict a large audience of people with eyes on his album cover, yet he says nobody is listening. So I think he's implying everyone is watching him all the time, but no one is actually listening to what he's saying. And so that's where the question arises, who does he feel like isn't listening? This is a vast crowd of people he depicts on the album cover, so this would most definitely indicate the general public, also the media who feeds the general public information. He is directly challenging the people who claim to care about him, the people who are watching him so raptly. You're not actually listening to the things he's trying to convey. As a Zarry, I take a sense of pride in knowing that I do try to go the extra mile and look past the media narrative and try to see what it is he may be conveying beneath the surface level. So I do look for subliminal messages. You see multiple videos on my account where I try to decipher what I believe to be our hidden messages in Zayn's visuals. I also try to interpret his lyrics, and I come to the conclusion there are a lot of Harry references in his lyrics. Whether people want to acknowledge that or not, they are there. You can see the identical lyrics between their songs. You can see the corresponding lyrics. There is a hope, Harry stated in no uncertain terms in Golden. Golden is an identical track title that is copied from Zayn's album Mind of Mine. This is one of two identical track titles Harry copied from Zayn's Mind of Mine. Golden has identical lyrics to Zayn's Golden and seems to respond to particular lyrics in Zayn's Golden. But beyond that, in the latter part of Harry's Golden, he has a lyric that unequivocally says, "I know that you're scared because I'm so open." This is important, because in a song where Harry chose to point directly at Zayn and also respond directly to Zayn's lyrics from Zayn's Golden with identical lyrics, Harry says, "I know that you're scared because I'm so open." We should take this to mean his lover is scared to be open because Harry is so open. Harry said he is open in an album which bore the running theme of self-acceptance, and an album where he released Lights Up on National Coming Out Day. You cannot ignore these things. These are threads that all tie together to illustrate a beautiful tapestry of truth between Zayn and Harry. Also, Harry would elaborate upon that sentiment or expound upon that sentiment whenever he would perform Golden live in late 2019 and early 2020. He would alter the lyrics to say, "I'm hoping someday you're open. I know that you're scared because I'm so open." That is a fuller thought where you cannot interpret it any way other than Harry knows his lover is afraid to be open because he is so open. And of course, we interpret his openness to mean his sexuality, since this is an album that seems to be centered around Harry opening up and accepting himself and accepting his sexuality. On some level and in some way, this sentiment and Harry's fine line compelled Zayn to respond. We see him beginning to take action on the concept of being more open for Harry. We can literally see it happening before our very eyes. It began with the release of Better. If you look beneath the surface level of the video to Better, you'll see a few key subliminal messages where he seems to be conveying something entirely different than the "I'm in love with Gigi Hadid" narrative and we have a baby and we're happy. The Better video screams a lot of things that I've gone over in detail repeatedly, so I'm going to attach the link to my Better video analysis in the description so you can watch that at your leisure and get caught up on what I believe he was trying to convey through the visuals in the Better video. But the main takeaways were that Bodhi means something to Zayn. Suddenly, it's meant something to Harry since 2018. He introduced the brand to his stylist, Harry Lambert. Harry is obsessed with the brand on his own, and now we see suddenly Zayn is obsessed with Bodhi. This will become increasingly more significant as time goes by during 2020. So this is the first hint that we get from Zayn during the Better video that he's not playing games anymore. He is becoming more and more open. The next very glaringly obvious and open thing Zayn did to show Harry he is trying to be more open now is when Harry released the video to Golden, the Zarry anthem that I talked about in the beginning of the video. When Harry finally released a video to Golden, the day after Harry releases this video, Zayn uploads 2 emotional covers of Last Request and Hold Back the River, and you can see the veins popping out of this man's throat while he performs these 2 emotional, passionate songs which speak of sort of discontent. These are not songs about happiness and contentment and I just had a baby, I'm happy with the woman I'm with. These songs are very painful, and he was emoting very fiercely while delivering them. That doesn't add up. Something doesn't add up there. The timing also doesn't make sense. Why would he release these 2 painful covers the day after Harry released Golden? And it's not just like Golden is just some random video Harry released. Golden is the exact identical track title from Zayn's Golden from Mind of Mine, and it also identically responds to his lyrics. So there is connection there. Zayn confirmed it by releasing these covers the next day and being overly emotional and sad. He sung covers to indicate he's in a bad place with the person he loves. Now we move on to January 2021, where it is announced that Zayn is releasing Vibes, and he is also releasing his album exactly 1 week later. In the Vibes video, I just made a video about it. I'm not going to go in detail. I'm just going to briefly state Zayn depicted himself playing a role on a stage, basically living out a life that almost like someone else scripted for him, and that he is not happy with, and that he is sort of just going through the motions. He also sort of simulated a journey, showed himself on a journey. Harry made reference to his fish being on a gap year and traveling and hoping the fish would come home safe to him. He also went out of his way to say the fish was a he when he talked about the fish traveling and hoping it would come home safely to him. But the most significant aspects of the Vibes video could be found in the fact that Zayn is now wearing a cross, which is a huge deal for Zarrys. I'm not going to go into detail about the cross because I already talked about it in the Vibes video, but I'm going to link the Vibes video in the description so you can see the significance of the cross. Not only is Zayn wearing a cross pendant around his throat, he is also wearing pants, jeans that have crosses all over them. They are by chrome hearts, so the crosses all over the jeans are the exact same crosses that are on the golden cross ring that replaced the rose ring in 2018 that Harry has worn every day devotedly for 2 years. So Zayn is wearing pants with the exact same cross on them that Harry has on the ring that Harry likely replaced the rose ring with for Zayn. This is huge. Zayn is covered in crosses in the Vibes video. Not a lot of people picked up on that, but we already know he feels like no one is listening anyway. So he can basically do whatever he wants and depict whatever he wants because these idiots won't pick up on it. They're just too busy caught up in whatever the media says is going on with Zayn. They're not actually listening to Zayn. So he's covered in crosses. Harry made the cross mean something in regards to Zayn, and he kisses the cross tattoo on his hand for Zayn. All of that is in the last video that is linked in the description. So the return of the Zarry cross on Zayn in 2021 was huge. I think people don't understand how big of a deal it is and how meaningful the cross is to them. That's something I can explain in detail on my website, because it's just a lot of references that need to be made and a lot of visuals that need to go along with those references. So I'll be making that post on my website soon, and then launching the website hopefully by the end of this month. As you can see, Zayn is getting progressively more brazen. He is getting wild to the point where he doesn't care who knows or who picks up on these Zarry clues. You remember in Harry's Vogue shoot, he wore a pair of Bodhi pants, which were senior chords pants, which is some sort of retro collegiate tradition where they decorate these pants with like certain symbols that meant something to fraternities and things like that. Bodhi has a line of senior chords attire that you can purchase, and you have them customize each and every piece. So the material from each piece is unique, but also the imagery on each piece is unique and is designated by the purchaser. Harry's pants included things like his birth year, some of his tattoos, the names of his godchildren, daisies, which we know can be seen as a relation to Zayn because he has daisy tattoos. He also had a heart similar in shape and placement to Zayn's, and he also had a poem on the pants called The Wait by Richard Brodigan, I believe his name is, and it was a big deal because it sort of confirmed for Zarry's that Harry is waiting on Zayn. And he went so far as to put a fish on the pants as well to tie in the fact that yes, Zayn is a fish, he is waiting on the fish. He was not just joking around when he said the fish was a he and that he's waiting on the fish. He now is depicting it on these pans that are supposed to contain very meaningful symbols. So that means he's not joking, he's not being facetious or sarcastic when he talked about the fish being on a gap year and him waiting on the fish to come home. The fish is a metaphor for a human that Harry is in love with and who he is waiting on. But now Zayn goes so far as to get a senior chords jacket and have it customized by Bodhi. So now he has the top part, Harry has the bottom part of the senior chords customized pieces, and Zayn's jacket contains things like, I believe, some of his tattoos. It contains his birth year and Star Wars and references to his album, and it's just very wild. Zayn is really trying to be open, and I am amazed. I am flabbergasted. I would have never imagined after his baby that he would have went the total opposite direction and been more inclined to share things with us about his feelings for Harry. I thought it was over. And you know, I've been hypercritical of Zayn since the baby announcement because of how I feel it affected Harry. Zayn is really trying to show he loves him, and I don't know what the conclusion should be, but I do know that he's being far more open and he wants us to see that he's being open. He's basically responding to Harry's request for him to be open and golden. Now we get to the actual album itself. So we've experienced Better, the video and the lyrics for that song, and we concluded it's about Harry. We experienced the lyrics in the video for Vibes, and we concluded it seems like it's about Harry. Now we have the album, and the album titled Nobody Is Listening, because Zayn is tired of people not paying attention to what he's trying to convey to them. He's tired of people deciding what they think they know about him, and I'm sure he's including shippers in that. At least we try to see past the convenient PR narratives that are spoon-fed to us by the Hadids and by people like, you know, the media. The first song on the album, so I can't go through every song on the album because this video will be 2 hours long, and I have to structure it in some way that will make it concise and will cut out a lot of rambling. I think I'm going to talk in detail about each song on my website, so that'll be a place people can go if they want to read about my thoughts about each song. I'm going to basically do my top 5 off the album, which are: number 1, Tightrope; number 2, Outside; number 3, Sweat; number 4, Calamity; number 5, River Road. I want to squeeze every song into the top 5 because I love every song. I adore Connection, and I adore When Love Comes Around. I know a lot of people ask me about the wife lyric and When Love Comes Around. That brings me back to a point I meant to make earlier. None of these songs have female pronouns, which is a very unlikely scenario for Zayn. Typically Zayn has she interspersed throughout all of his lyrics and all of his songs, and we just have to kind of look past it to know that it's about Harry. There seems to be a concerted effort made in this album to avoid pronouns. The only songs he included pronouns on were Windowsill and When Love's Around. Did you notice anything about those two songs? They're both features, so they're both connected to another person and would get a certain amount of press because they're connected to another artist. And I just find it interesting that those are the only two songs he alludes to a woman being his lover at all. And in When Love's Around, he actually goes so far as to say, you could be my wife. Taking this album from top to bottom, we have to remember Zayn's title to this album is Nobody Is Listening. This album title alone challenges us to look past the surface level interpretation of things and try to see what he is trying to convey on a secondary level. And for me, looking past the wife lyric and the female pronouns has always been easy because we know he is living a double life. And he is speaking almost with a doubleness that we have to sort of decipher. The wife lyric for me is just not significant because it's just like a thing you say. It's like a very generic line and it's the thing you expect him to say, so I don't think it's very significant or profound. However, the remainder of this album seems to suggest Zayn is telling a secondary narrative that we need to look a little closer to understand and figure out. Sweat, I obviously adore Sweat because lyrically it's just sexy. It's really gorgeous. It sounds like something from the 80s or the 90s, and it's so sexy. His delivery is flawless. The lyrics are just but I'm not really going to go in detail about that song. I want to move on, in which case I want to read my posts from Instagram to simplify the matter. My number one song, hands down, is Tightrope. I told you guys that weeks before it came out, I believe, I started alluding to Tightrope being my favorite song. There are a slew of reasons this is my favorite song, and it's also the most direct song about Harry. There are several direct references to Harry in this song. Direct as far as what we Zarrys know to be about Harry. Some of the most profound and compelling lyrics in Tightrope are verse 1, why is it gotta feel like I'm walking a tightrope? Why you wanna see how far I fall? Cause I'm already up here and I got my eyes closed, and I ain't never fell from a love this tall. That is just Then the pre-chorus is, are you ready? Cause I'm ready to let go. Never thought I'd be ready again. Guess there's something about this neon red glow got me thinking about giving in. The second verse is even more intriguing. Sitting with my legs across your torso. We are who we are when we're alone. Baby, I'm ready. Any minute we might fall. Lately, I feel like my grip is gone, but you got my arm. I could cry right now. That's how mind-blowing those lyrics are to me. This is my caption on the post because it encapsulates my thoughts more concisely than I can express right now. I think this song is tremendously important for Zayn as a moment of stark, unflinching honesty. I never thought we'd hear anything like this from him, and I'm enchanted for many reasons. I believe this is his most forthright song on the album, meaning it's his most vulnerable. There is no ego, there is no bravado, there is no discussion about sexual chemistry. It's just pure and true romance and deep intimacy, in that it's a glimpse into a version of him we only ever saw through I Won't Mind, a song that was never supposed to see the light of day, mind you. So we were never really supposed to hear that raw honesty and I Won't Mind. That was meant for one person's ears only, but it was leaked to the public for one day in 2015. Tightrope haunted me from the moment I heard it over a month ago. I instantly recognized his brazen drawback to 2014. Zayn makes a drawback to this lyric by writing a lyric almost identical to the iconic "We are who we are when no one's watching." Now we have the reaffirmed "We are who we are when we're alone." Over 6 years later, nothing has changed. He still feels the exact same sacred intimacy with the same person who he can only be himself with when they're entirely unaccompanied. Other allusions he makes in this song are, number 1, I believe the neon red glow that is tempting Zayn to make a major change in his life is the one we see accompanying Harry throughout most of the Lights Up video. Mind-blowing. It's a harsh, almost incriminating light, but it's also freeing in that Harry is seen bathing in this light, being emancipated by simply accepting who he is at his core and exposing it for the world to see on National Coming Out Day in 2019, regardless of the reaction or backlash he might have received. You can see Harry taking a breath of sheer relief, like a weight has been lifted. How would this not be tempting to someone like Zayn, who is still working so hard day and night to hold it all in, or to walk a tightrope, to maintain the fine balance between being closeted and being open about who he truly loves? That light in the video for Lights Up may very well be the neon red glow that's making Zayn want to give in and fall off of the tightrope. Number 2, the second most important illusion in tightrope, I believe, the simple concept of Zayn walking a tightrope. It's kind of like one of those eye-opening moments of just pure honesty, like when Harry finally confirmed he is actually waiting on somebody. Here we have Zayn confirming he is walking a tightrope. He is leading a double life per se, walking a fine balance between two things, and we can assume what those two things are. I believe is one foot in the closet and one foot out of the closet. And he's trying to maintain this balance between showing who he really is and staying hidden and living this sort of PR friendly life. Zayn is walking a tightrope, teetering on a fine balance of walking in his truth with the man he was never supposed to love, or living out a loveless existence in a PR-friendly, family-approved, heteronormative pairing with a female. Lastly, the most important takeaway from tightrope should be the fact that the expression of walking a tightrope and the expression of walking a fine line between two things are completely synonymous. Referencing the lyric, "Sitting with my legs across your torso, we are who we are when we're alone," that lyric caught a lot of people's eye. It caught my eye when I first heard it, and I expressed it to a few of my friends. I was shocked with the amount of people who agreed with me, who felt the same way as me, and expressed it to me after the song was released. They said, point blank period, that lyric is evocative of Zayn being in a relationship with a man. I wholeheartedly agree. It expresses his reliance on his partner's physical strength, their physical ability to hold his weight, to bear his weight. Sitting with my legs across your torso sounds like a diluted way of Zayn basically trying to express his sitting straddling someone's lap, probably with his legs around their torso, their waist. But he dialed it down, because if had he said with my legs around your torso, it would have been too directly evocative of the fact that he was straddling someone's lap, and you don't, and men do not straddle females' laps in that way. That would just be weird. It's not weird, however, if Zayn is straddling the lap of another man with his legs around their torso, not across. So I think he chose the word across so it wouldn't be so directly evocative of the straddling the lap scenario, but we all can read into that and know what he means. It's just an expression of vulnerability, him opening up and saying, yeah, he does take the submissive role sometimes. He is held sometimes, and he is comfortable with this person, and comfortable enough to sit with his legs wrapped around their torso because they take care of him. I think that's just mind-blowing, and it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful sentiment. I'm so glad he included it. And it directly precedes the throwback lyric to I Won't Mind, a song that we know was written long before Gigi, and that we know has significant ties to Harry, because Harry responded to I Won't Mind in 2014 with Someday Maybe, but also in his first album with the outro to Meet Me in the Hallway. So this is just amazing things at play here. As suspected, this video is getting very long, so what I'm gonna do is go ahead and answer some of your questions. What are your thoughts on Z calling H his sun and moon in Tightrope? It is breathtaking. It is the most tender and beautiful thing I've heard in a long time. It's as beautiful and adorable as Harry calling Zayn the sun and the sunshine in Fine Line, and also him writing an entire song about his sunflower tattoos. It just has that sort of intense adoration apparent in it. You're my sun and my moon. The lyrics to that song are you the full moon or the sun? Whatever you are, I swear to God, you are beyond compare. that is just, oh, I can't even begin to explain how romantic that is, and how heartwarming and how heart-wrenching it is, and how it seems to play on the fact that Harry continuously called Zayn his son in fine line. I can't with them. They're just impossible to comprehend at this point. It's just too romantic and too intense and too cinematic almost. But it's also nice because it's like we all are in on this beautiful secret between these two incredible human beings. Outside and Calamity are very sad. I feel like they are post 2018 breakup songs. Yeah, I feel that too. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I personally believe the evidence of Zarry after 2015 suggests that they got back in touch in 2016, tried to be in a serious relationship from 2017 to 2018. In late 2018, they broke up, and in 2019 they were still having issues. I think they were in touch in 2019, but off and on there are clues. You can see in my timeline videos, there are clues that they were in touch and interacting, but it doesn't seem like they ever got back together after late 2018. After giving it a go in 2018 and it not working out, I think they both were just kind of outdone by each other and kind of felt this will never work. And so I think they didn't bother in 2019, although I do believe they were in touch and are always trying to make their relationship work. I just don't think they got back together in 2019. And in 2020, we know this is the year of the fucking gap because Zayn had a baby with Gigi for whatever reason. And this is when Harry began to allude to Zayn as the fish, as though he's waiting on him. By 2020, Harry got to a point where he wanted Zayn back until the baby came along. And I think Zayn, when the baby came along, realized he wants Harry back. But yeah, I do agree with you. I think Calamity and Outside are making allusions to their breakup after 2018. And I believe Harry's Fine Line is about the aftermath of their breakup in 2018 as well. You mentioned the line about a dog was less important. True, of fucking course, but H did have dogs like Max and Colin, smiley face. Well, thanks for telling me. I didn't realize that Harry actually had dogs. Here was my logic regarding the dog line in Outside. First of all, hands down, I believe Outside is about Harry, and I believe it's alluding to their late 2018 breakup, like I just said for the last questioner. But also, I believe specifically Outside is a reaction, if not a response, to Falling. It addresses a few of the things Harry says in Falling, and I explained that in detail in my post on Instagram, which I will link in the description if you want to read my full thoughts on Outside. But this is new information. I did not know Harry owned dogs. I have always had a sentiment that they have privately probably owned pets together. I actually included that in This Thing Upon Me. I believe the first thing they had together were fish. I compared the dog line to the line about basically sneaking out of the parents' house, because in my opinion these lines sort of cancel each other out. If the lines, let's just say hypothetically, if the lines were about Gigi, yeah, you can say the dog line fits Gigi. It also fits Perry because Zayn tends to get a dog with whoever his partner is, which is why I don't think it's implausible to think he had a dog with Harry at some point. Yes, you can take the dog line to be a reference to Gigi or Perry, but obviously Perry is out of the question, so it would be Gigi in this case. However, the line that does not under any circumstances make sense for Gigi is the one that precedes that line, and that is the reference to Zayn sneaking his lover out of their parents' house and being on the roof with them. Here's why this can't fit Gigi. There's no reason for her to sneak out of her parents' house. For one, when Zayn met Gigi, she was a grown-ass woman, so she didn't have to sneak and do anything. Secondly, she did not live with her parents. She lived in New York. Years before she met Zayn in 2015, she was already living in New York on her own. So Zayn wouldn't have snuck Gigi out of her parents' house to be with her on the roof because she didn't live with her parents and she's a grown woman, so she didn't have to sneak anywhere. So that line lets us know this song is not about Gigi. Therefore, the dog line is either a throwaway line to make you think the song is about Gigi, or Harry and Zayn could have possibly had some kind of animal together that we don't know about. That's very highly plausible. That's more plausible than Zayn saying he snuck Gigi out of her parents' house to be with her on the roof. Now I know who the nympho in Stockholm Syndrome is. Abso-freaking-lutely. You should have known that back in 2014 when Zayn wouldn't shut up when Harry was trying to explain what the song was about. Zayn piped up louder than anyone. In fact, he was the only one who piped up. He was the only one who piped up to tell you what the song was about. And he said it could be related to love as well, which was adorable. he knew it was about him, which is why he was so eager to talk about the song. He also said it was his favorite song in a separate interview, and we all know that he leaked Stockholm Syndrome long before anyone knew what the song was, and before it was even public knowledge. So that goes to show you, yes, Stockholm Syndrome is about Zayn, and he is very much aware of that fact. A nympho is basically a sex addict, but it's used to describe a female sex addict, but we know these boys and pronouns do not matter because Harry changes pronouns all the time while he's singing. We know Zayn sings about sex constantly. He talks about his need for sex constantly, and it is not a normal need for sex, it is a heightened need for sex, and which would paint Zayn as kind of a sex addict. And Harry has made allusions to his lover being a sex addict by writing Stockholm Syndrome and basically feeling like he's been kept hostage by this person from time to time. And then we look at Zayn's latest offering. We have Vibes, we have Connection, we have Sweat. Oh my gosh. So we know Zayn has an incredible sex drive apparently, and some crazy stamina, because he talks about fucking his lover 10 times because he doesn't get bored in the Pillow Talk remix. So yeah, I think you're right. When Z says, "I'll let you decide, leave my life outside or let me in," because H would obviously let him in, I don't think that's true. I don't think if they were in a bad place that Harry would be inclined to let Zayn in, because I think Harry, more so than us, is aware of the effects that Zayn has on him, especially physically. So I think Harry knows the weakness he has for Zayn. So it's not difficult for me to conceive of the fact that Harry would have shut Zayn out. I think the only way Harry can get peace of mind from Zayn is probably to shut him out, because he probably finds Zayn to be particularly persuasive because he loves him. That's just the way it works. When you love somebody, it's hard to resist them. So in a situation where they're fighting and Harry is like not wanting to face Zayn, I could see him not letting Zayn in. And so Zayn is telling him, okay, I'll let you decide. I'll be back tonight. You want to give this another try? You want to let me in? We can do it. If not, just leave my shit outside. That sentiment about I'll let you decide, you can leave my shit outside or let me in, kind of reminds me of the sentiment from Fingers, which we know was also about Harry in late 2018 when they seemed to be going through whatever they went through. Zayn said, "If you want to let me know where you are, I can come and love you." And it sounds very similar to the sentiment he's saying in Outside. I think the songs are about the same scenario, basically, was what I'm saying. Harry was mad at Zayn, and Zayn was the one being more open and more probably willing to talk it out or whatever, figure it out. I think Harry might have started stonewalling Zayn, because I think Harry was upset that Zayn went on the vacation with Gigi. If you remember, the late 2018 breakup seemed to be centered around that vacation that Ziggy took in late August, and then going to London, which Zayn wrote Fingers and recorded it while he was in London with her. So that means it's not about her. Outside has the same sentiment as Fingers because they're about the same time period, in my opinion. So literally he's saying, okay, give me my shit, leave it outside, and I'll come back and pick it up, and we don't have to interact. That's like a typical scene from a breakup. Kind of give the person their belongings, because even if you don't live with them, you still end up accumulating your lover's belongings at your place. So clothes, t-shirts, phone chargers, toothbrushes, whatever they bring to your house to feel more comfortable while they're staying there. So Zayn could be referring to that, leave my shit outside. Also, figuratively, Zayn seems to be responding to falling a lot in this album. It seems like he's responding to falling in multiple songs, mainly Better and in Outside. So in Outside, Zayn saying, leave my shit outside, leave my life outside, he could mean that figuratively, referring and responding to Harry, who said, I can't unpack the baggage you left. So this is figurative. Harry is saying Zayn left baggage. He didn't physically leave items, which I'm sure he did. Harry can't unpack it. He can't move past it. He can't work around it. It's basically cluttering his life and disorienting him. And so Zayn is saying, basically, leave my shit outside, leave my life outside. Basically, he's telling him to just forget about me. Let's move on. Let's both dip. I think that's the lyric from the song. So he's saying figuratively, you can't unpack the baggage I left, just leave my shit outside and forget about me, set me aside. In Outside, there's a line that says, we didn't have much. More proof that it's about Zarry. I wholeheartedly agree. You're so right, because they don't have much. They don't have appearances. They don't have the ability to be together in public to sustain the relationship, because surely that helps when you don't have to hide your relationship like a crazy person. So the fact that they don't have the ability to be together in public, the fact that they don't have the ability to talk about each other to other people to get relief. Can you imagine what that is like? We didn't have much perfectly applies. That does not apply to a relationship like Perry or Gigi, where they did have it all. Zayn has given one a baby, Zayn gave one an engagement, they had the public appearances, they lived together, they had it all. So it does not make sense for Zayn to be saying we didn't have much. That wholeheartedly would apply to Harry. They don't have much to their relationship but each other. They don't have anything but the stolen alone time that they have. So I think you're completely right about that. What do you think he means when he's saying, are you ready? Because I'm ready to let go. He is tired of trying to hold himself up on this tightrope. He is tired of walking this fine line between living his truth and living the truth that people want him to live. So I think he is just tired. He's ready to let go. He wants to fall, and he wants to fall with his lover. He wants to know that Harry is with him and that he has him. He doesn't want to take this leap and then not have Harry there to support him and to fall with him. So he's like, baby, if you're ready, I'm ready to let go. They've been holding on to this rope for so long and teetering in this precarious place for so long. They're exhausted. And so I think Zayn is ready to take that leap. And again, this song has too many direct ties to Harry, and I believe lights up for it to be like a throwaway song that he's just singing, you know, for conceptually, and he doesn't really mean it. I think Zayn is really ready to make a move, and his behavior surrounding the release of this album corroborates that theory. Will you give your thoughts on River Road? It feels sad and confusing. I think you're exactly right. I agree 100%. It's a very confusing song. It has very lovely poetic imagery, but is extremely vague, and I have no idea what he is trying to say. Unlike Tightrope, I feel like in Tightrope he has a definitive through line of, seems like he's sort of conveying he has a certain purpose in Tightrope, whereas with River Road it just seems sort of like a meandering song where he's just kind of expressing things. It sounds like he's kind of letting a lot of things off of his chest. There doesn't seem to be any true definitive sort of conclusion to River Road. I think it's just kind of him unloading a lot of thoughts, and they're very vague thoughts to us, but they very well may make perfect sense to someone like Harry. So again, I don't know. I'm just as confused as you are with River Road. I'm not particularly sure what it means. I hope to find clarity surrounding it in the coming days. Hopefully a few things will begin to make sense to us, and so I'm just going to hope for that.